So the title we've got against today's conversation is how to make your game stand out, which was the original one that we had, and then we asked you to come join us, and we thought, oh well, we'll keep that one. It's still relevant because we're talking about you launching your game and how to get traction with it. Is there anything that you've done or thought about or looked at with your game so that it stands out in that first 10-second sort of visual glance that people have at it? The reason I'm asking that question is we bang on a lot about that topic in this forum when we're talking to people. It's like the whole 5 or 10-second GIF, it's got to really pop and have people say, oh, that looks very interesting. I'm really going to give that a go. Is that something that you've consciously worked on? How do we get that 5-second, 10-second just, wow factor? Is it something that you just sort of, you've worked on your game and said, well, here's 5 or 10 seconds we think's pretty cool. We'll just pop it out there and see what happens. And do you have any thoughts moving forward on how to even increase that further to say when people watch 5 or 10 seconds, they're really gripped by what we're showing them and they want to continue? Just an exploration of that topic.
Yeah, I think in terms of like with the gameplay being a bit slow, it's always difficult to showcase something because a lot of the game videos or teasers, something flashy is happening, fast stuff is happening, and it's in our game isn't like that at all. So we realized that we have to make it attractive enough so you can get an experience. And a lot of the design decisions of the actual map implementation, for example, that's seen so many refinements over the time. We had to iterate and improve a little bit over time. And we had to go a little bit, okay, this needs lifting up now. The water wasn't transparent. It just looked like a flat blue sheet of paper. So I had to implement some transparency, and then, okay, the trees don't look good enough. I'll implement new tree system, and then we'll boost the explosions a little bit. So it sort of grew to the point where we ended up with something right now, and half of it is luck, I think, and half of it is conscious, I guess, somewhere along there in between. And what we find now, when we see screenshots of the game, it's very different from most other strategy games. First of all, we've gone for a very flat look, and that's deliberate. We didn't really want terrain that's going up and down, even though it's technically perfectly fine to do it. I think we wanted to get that sort of a board gamey type of feel to it, so you could see everything clearly. And then also just. The way the colors, when I looked at a lot of other games, for example, to look, and I'm super impressed, and you get a little bit of, we spoke before, I think, about imposter syndrome, and you think, well, about these, Civilization, the latest games there, or you got Crusader Kings, and you go, or you can zoom infinitely down into the detail, and you can go all the way out, and everything looks, but what I found with this game is that I actually, and both me and Christian, we've grown to really like the strong colors, the way they pop, it's easy to see, and the clear units and things. So I think hopefully that will work to a benefit. It's easy to recognize when you see a screenshot now that maybe it's the saturation and just the shape of the land, so it's quite clear that way. So we're hoping that could distinguish it a bit.
I'm really
well. So Rick and I did a game marketing workshop a while back, and one of the things that we brought up was when someone sees a screenshot of your game, they shouldn't be able to confuse it with a different game, right? If at any point they can confuse it with a different game, you're doing something wrong. Like it's too generic. You need to make some changes. And I think you've got that going on. You've got you're absolutely right. I didn't even notice the flatness of the board, but I noticed the distinctness of it. And it's got this flat board. It's got these like markers. You see elements of like RTS games and stuff like that, but it's got a very unique look to it, which is really cool. It makes it unique and it makes it identifiable, which I think can help it spread.
Yeah, and it might also hint a little bit back to when I grew up in the 90s and stuff, we played Command and Conquer and the 2D top-down isometric style games. So I guess it sort of hints like for us that look back at that area as you had time and you could play and you didn't have any worries. So hopefully sort of that plays a little bit on your mind that, oh, this looks like something I'm more used to seeing. It doesn't have the most complex terrains with cloud systems and everything. So I think, and plus also the formations of the line, the way that the troops line up and form these little neat columns, and you see the artillery in the back, and you see the plumes of smoke and stuff. So yeah,
a lot of love went into this. You can tell.
Nice.